Hey. I don't know if you all can see me. I'm going live on through StreamYard. So I'm trying to make sure I'm live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Let's see. Let me get Instagram together. All right. So now I think I'm good. Okay. It's not showing me live on the app. Okay. Either way, where are you joining us from? Yes. Okay. So cool. I'm live on Facebook. Hey, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm live everywhere you can find the Activity Playhouse. I'm on mom duties. I'm at soccer practice, so forgive me for being in the car on this live, but I got to do it when I can do it. So tonight we're talking about 3 actionable steps for you to play like a pro. Play like a pro meaning easy ways to implement play strategies in your home with your little ones. So I'm trying to see if Instagram will let me see this little chat. I don't know for sure. Okay, Facebook will let me see the chat. So let me know. Let me mute it. Sorry. Okay. So purposeful play, 3 actionable steps for you all to implement like right now, tonight, at dinner time or tomorrow morning when you all get started with your day. I just want to give you 3 ways to go ahead and start implementing play into your routine so that your little ones can start learning through play. So the first one is you discover their interest. The first step that you need to do is discover their interest. And what I mean by that is like really dig into what they're interested in. So for example, if they're interested in cars, dinosaurs, or princesses, ask them deeper questions. And I know you may feel like they're 2 or 3 years old and they can't answer those questions. Ask them anyway, because I know for a fact they will surprise you with their answer. Like really spend that time interacting with them and asking them why they like certain things. Like for example, with my little one, I'll ask him, why do you like the color blue, or something like that. But really being intentional and going a little bit deeper with them on why they like certain things. And then also identifying the toys, activities, and the themes that really stick out to them. So again, with my little one, he loves cars. Hi, wherever you're joining me from, I'm live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm in the car at soccer practice, so forgive me, but thank you all for joining me. But just be intentional about whatever they're interested in. So if they're interested in dinosaurs, ask why they're interested in dinosaurs, what they like about the dinosaurs. Or if you put something in front of them and they don't like it, ask them why they don't like it. But be intentional about figuring out the things that they like, the things that they're drawn to. Like for my little one, also, he loves sand. So that's not something that he would naturally say, like, because he's really into cars. Like everything is cars, transportation, anything that moves, anything that has wheels, he's into it. But I know by discovering his interest, if it's something that I really want to lean in on to teach him, I can go to sand, because sand is his calming thing. Sand, if I pull out sand, he will basically like not exist for a minute. So just really discovering what they're interested in and being intentional in identifying those things. So that's the first step. The second step is adding learning into the play. So going back to the sand example, I know that say we need to practice our numbers. We haven't written our numbers in a while, and you all know I don't use pencils with him unless he wants to. So a way that we write our numbers is we'll get sand. So like earlier this week, you seen in my stories, we were writing numbers. So we wrote our numbers up to 20 in the sand, and I did it with him just because they like participation from you, so they like to feel like you're working as a team, so to speak. So that was one way that we were adding learning into our play. So he was excited. Like the first time we did it in the sand, I wrote one number and he wrote one number. So not only were we writing the numbers, we were also like doing the what's next type of thing with our math. So I wrote 1, he wrote 2, and then he's like, okay, mommy, it's your turn to write 3, and so forth like that. So we went back and forth doing that. But that's an easy way to add learning into planning. Also with the cars. So with the cars, we do the 10 frames. The 10 frames is how they're learning math so that they can visually see it. Versus just talking about the numbers. So instead of using a worksheet and putting like 10 dots on it in the 10 frame, we use carding, create our own 10 frames. So just adding learning into their planning activity, or if your kids are into animals, create a mini zoo, and there's so many things you can do with the animals, like if they have dinosaurs or like the safari animals or even just stuffed animals. There's so many things you can do. You can practice the letter sounds of each animal. So if there's an elephant, you want to practice the E sound, what that sounds like, or even practice the animal sounds. You can also play hide and seek with the zoo animals. There's just so many ways to add learning into what they're already doing and already playing with, because playing is their love language. So that's the biggest way. And then our last step, well, I want to go back to number 2. So also, I gave you one example of the zoo animals, and then the second example was with the sand. So you all know my favorite is the Play-Doh. They can write their name with Play-Doh. They can do their numbers with Play-Doh. They can count with Play-Doh. They can do their fine motors because they're squishing, rolling the Play-Doh, making snakes and stuff. And like this week, we're we're reading about Michael Jordan. So our lesson was with salt. So they found that very interesting because we talked about salt in the book, where he put salt in his shoes for him to grow taller. So we did our art activity with salt. We did basketball a little bit with our PE lesson when they grabbed their shoes, because they have Jordans or whatever. So it's like, this is the guy that was in the book. He made the shoes. Like, it just creates a whole learning environment. And we're learning all of this outside of the classroom, which is why playing is learning, learning is playing, So I'm just here to teach you all how to identify those things. So like if you're at the park and you're walking, they can find rocks, and that can turn into a math activity. They can spell things. Well, not necessarily spell things, like spell their name with the rocks. They can write letters with the rocks. It's just so many things that you can do. The leaves are about gone, but we still have leaves on the ground here in North Carolina. So you can have them jump with the 2 feet, because that's a developmental goal, jumping with both their feet together. That's a developmental goal for the little ones. So have them jump on the leaf. You can ask them to listen to how it sounds. So that's getting them to focus. It's just so many ways. Keep tuning in with me, and I'll keep showing you how to play like a pro, to make it easy, fun, and engaging for them. And the last step, number 3, is creating a playtime routine. And we know with little ones, routine is very important. And a lot of people feel like when they're playing, they're just running around wild with no instruction. It can look like that. I'm not gonna lie, it can look like that, but that's not necessarily the case. You can have a routine when you're learning through play. So like, for example, we limit our technology time, screen time. We went down a little slippery slopes recently here, so I had to rein it back in and put on my parental controls and stuff back on it. So like for dinner, we cut off the tablets and stuff automatically lock at a certain time. So we played Uno. So we were intentional about that playtime, and we did it as a family. So everyone participated or whatever. After dinner, we just did Uno. And Uno is a fun game, but it's also a learning thing. So Dion is 4. Dion plays Uno very well. Dion may beat you at Uno. But with Uno, Dion is learning to match the colors. He's learning the sequence of numbers. He's learning to match the numbers. And then, 6 and 9 are always difficult for them at that age. He's learning the difference between those with Uno. He's learning to follow rules, Lord Jesus. He's learning to follow rules, which is very hard for a 4-year-old. He's learning to sit still and focus. So he may not play like 7 or 8 rounds like the older two will, but he'll play 3 or 4, which is about the time frame of his attention span. So he'll sit there and focus and do Uno. He's taking turns, which is essentially sharing. But the biggest thing with Uno for Dion that I like is the instruction part, because my baby is very independent. He's very opinionated. So it's almost like what I say goes in his mind. So playing Uno actually really helps with his listening ears. So I like that. So like I said, creating a playtime routine, setting a specific time for your purposeful play each day, whether it's at night, in the morning, your kids will know and get into routine. Like, this is the time that we're actually going to play. Mom is going to play. So with my daughter, she's 7. I do not like playing Barbies. I was the only girl in the house, raised by my dad, single dad, and 2 brothers. So I didn't have anybody play Barbies with me. So I barely played Barbies, because if I wanted someone to play with me, I had to play what they wanted to play. So it was games, football, basketball. No one was playing Barbies with me. So I really don't like playing Barbies. So what I do with my daughter is I'll set an alarm, 20 minutes, intentional play. You have my undivided attention. We're playing Barbies. And when I say play Barbies, I'll do the hair with her, because she has a whole little, if you've been following me for a while, she has a whole little salon. So I'll do the salon, but as far as like playing the Barbies and the fake talking and stuff like that, 20 minutes, sweetie. That's my limit. That's your limit. We're good. we're playing intentional play. 20 minutes. And then like just being intentional with my oldest, like getting into stuff that it applies for our little ones under 5, but honestly it applies for being intentional and creating those memories with your little ones, period. So my oldest, he's into games. My husband's into games as well, so they can, and they're into sports, so they can talk and relate. So for me to relate to him, I also was set an alarm like, oh, okay, we can go play Madden, or I can watch you play whatever game it is that you're playing. But that's me being intentional with his time as well, so that it doesn't just apply with your little ones. It applies to the whole house, to make sure you're creating those like memories, that one-on-one time, and having them create a routine that they'll look forward to. So just to recap the 3 actionable steps that you're going to do. So number 1, I'm going through my notes so I won't forget, because again, I'm a mom all over the place. So 1, you need to really keen in on their interest, whatever they're interested in. Add learning to whatever it is, and then you need to create a routine around it. So what's a common thing kids are into? I would say cars. So we'll do Play-Doh, because I love Play-Doh. So number 1, your kids love Play-Doh. Pick their favorite color with Play-Doh. So that's number 1. Number 2, make it playful. So when you create the Play-Doh, sometimes they don't like to initially roll out their names and stuff like that. So you'll make a cake. It'll be someone's birthday. So you create a whole little birthday party. So you're talking about vocabulary words, because you got birthday, you got cake, you got party, you got fun, celebration, just all those things, right? So then you're like, oh, we made a cake with this Play-Doh. Maybe you have their favorite color, because you want to work on colors. So you'll have multiple different colors of Play-Doh. And listen, let them mix that Play-Doh. Let them mix that Play-Doh. So you have different colors that mixing and making a little cake. Maybe they can make a candle, so they can make the candles, and have an old whoever's turning, who the birthday party is for, you make those candles. So if they're turning 2, you have 2 candles. That's them working on the numbers. And then also you can have them spell out the name. So whoever birthday it is, it's Mariah's birthday, so they're gonna spell out Mariah. These are things that I do at home. I've had a whole birthday party for a teddy bear. We made everything with Play-Doh, plates, all that stuff. So I'm not telling you something I did not do, and I know it sounds silly, but it works. And then also I had a happy birthday song, so that's teaching them the rhyming and things like that as well. So that's number 2. Number 3 is making it a routine. So for us, I intentionally play with the whole family. I'm intentional about play with the whole family after dinner time. And then with the little ones that I'm homeschooling, because only 2 out of 3 are homeschool, I'm very intentional for us to get started. So if you see my stories and things like that, you know that we start our morning off playing, because that kind of gets them in the rhythm for school. So like Mousetrap, that was one of our games that we played this week, because Mondays are rough for me and my little ones. Mondays just don't work for my house. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, my husband's usually off on Mondays. Mondays used to be rough for me when I was working way back when, 7-8 years ago. So Mondays is just rough for my whole house. So in order for us to ease into our morning to get what we need to get done for the day, we usually start with a game. And play is not just games. And I hate when people like put it as in, oh, we're gonna play a game. So play is just them doing something that they kind of want to do, they're taking the lead on, and you're just adding in the learning. So sometimes plays them going to the kitchen, like a play kitchen cuts, or they may go into the house. So one way that we did the intentional learning with play was we read the book in the house. So they were in the house, they had their friends, which was like the teddy bear in the car. We were reading the book in the house, the little playhouse that's in our living room. So those are 3 steps. I know I was rambling a lot. So one more time, I'm going to give it to you. So 1 is really dig deep and discover what they're interested in. Number 2 is add learning to whatever it is they're interested in and that they're playing with, whether it's a toy or anything like that. And number 3 is make it a routine. Be intentional about the time. Try to make it around the same time every day for them. So I really, really hope I was able to help you all. Well, not hope. I know I helped somebody. Make sure you leave a comment letting me know what you got from this, your takeaway. If you'd like to see more of these lives and what you want me to talk about, I appreciate it. Share it with somebody. Share it with a mom that has a child under 5 that you know could benefit from this video, because not only are the kids learning while they're playing, that mom is getting a break while they're playing. All right. So until next time, I'm the mom playologist, and I will see you all next Tuesday, same time, 6:15 live. Bye. Have a good night.